Live from Paradise Studios in New York, Strong Island Television presents Under the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, we're going to be interviewing actors Lathrop and Tabitha Bastien of the new crime thriller ECCO. Randy will also be reviewing the new films Ode to Joy and Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, with special guest critics Rachel Kolb, Nick Commando, and Justin Miles. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. From big to small, we cover it all. And right now, I've got, through Skype, actors Lathrop and Tabitha Bastien of the new crime thriller ECCO. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks so much for having us.
Of course. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Good. So I saw the film yesterday. It's very dark, very suspenseful. I'm curious, how did you guys get involved with the film?
Well, I got the casting notice from my agent and just immediately fell in love with the script and the character. And then Lathrop flew up from LA and read with me for the callback audition. Mm-hmm. And it just felt so comfortable and natural and just really great. And Ben, the director, was there and gave us some minor adjustments. And it literally felt like we were on set together already working on a scene. So it just made me want the role so much more. It was just, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, nice.
I got involved. It's a story Ben and I have been working on for a while. And so we crafted the story together, and Ben got the script down. And so it's something we've been involved with since the ground up. So it was fantastic to bring people like Tabitha on board and kind of make this thing a reality and really see this thing come off the page and come to life.
Now, would you call it a crime thriller, or would you call it like a psychological drama? Like, how would you classify this film? Because it seems like it's many different genres in one.
It's exactly it. I mean, I think it leads in to being a little bit of a crime thriller, a little bit of a revenge thriller, and starts to kind of open up as the movie gets going and after the story kind of starts to unfold. So I think the real entry point into this is that kind of revenge thriller that starts to kind of find its own way and take on its own life, that kind of sits in between a couple of different genres, which is something we were going for. So it was exciting to kind of build that and kind of see how that all came together and go, okay, this is something that is a little hard to pin down. But for people who do like crime thrillers, for people who do like something a little more dramatic and suspenseful, it's got a lot for everybody. So
yeah, that's true.
Nice. And
love story.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys reference any other crime thrillers from the past? Like, because it feels like it doesn't feel like your standard crime thriller, but it definitely has some shades of previous works. Did you guys do a lot of research on previous crime thriller films?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's different directors that Ben and I are both drawn to. I think there's different kind of film noir, different kind of styles that we're really drawn to as well in terms of storytelling. So I think, I mean, looking at everything from like a little Jean Le Carre, looking at everything from a little David Fincher. I mean, I think there's a lot of elements that we kind of pick and pull from different little moments that were awesome to kind of get to kind of craft and weave into the story as well.
Okay. Now, guys, Tabitha, for you, example, what was it like getting into character? Did you guys do any research for that?
I got to work with Ben a bunch on the character and her backstory, and she was really fun to kind of like play around with how she would respond to things, because of also like I had never been pregnant before, so I had this weighted belly that I got to wear for the shoot, and that was kind of interesting, and I got to talk to people that had been through that. Okay. So yeah, it was interesting because she finds out so many things about his past throughout the film, and their relationship, they had this kind of relationship where they knew that there were things about their past they didn't talk about, and they were fine with that. But then when she finds out certain things, it makes her question, who he is, and makes her future seem a little more not as secure as she once thought it was. And they're expecting this new baby into their family, and something they both wanted for so long. So it's kind of like a really pivotal moment for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Lathrop, did you get into getting into your character? Did you do a lot of preparation?
Totally. I did. I haven't done a lot of work with guns before, so it was great to kind of go, okay, this is what this guy does for a living, so you need to figure that out. And so I had some great training with some folks down in L.A., just north of the city, where we took some time at a couple ranges there and really worked on a lot of stuff. He starts off on a fishing boat, so we had an awesome crew that we were working with, kind of in the Port of Ballard here in Seattle, that were really, really helpful in kind of giving us a lay of the land of the boat and getting us real comfortable around that. So there was a lot of real hands-on things that we did in short amount of time to really help kind of bring this character to life, to make him a little more grounded with everything that he's doing and make it believable.
And another aspect of the film, I'd say, is the set keeps changing. Like, there's like so many locations in this film. What was it like going from set to set?
You had more of the sets than I did, but we had a lot of cool locations. Yeah. Like, we got to film on this really awesome tugboat in Ballard, Washington, and he got to film at the steam plant that was just like, I wasn't even there that day, and I had to go check it out because it was so amazing.
Well, I think one of the things that we really found a lot of joy in was mining Seattle for a lot of these locations that have really been underused and people just don't see. And so being from here, and having a lot of the crew being from here and having Ben be from here as a director, him having things that he loves and backdrops that we're really excited to kind of be like, look, these are great things that nobody's seen before. These haven't been in films. These haven't been used. How can we really try to tie these together? Unfortunately, a lot of them were accessible, so it was fantastic being able to go, great, we get to here for 3 days. Let's make the most out of it. Let's see how we can really make all of these backdrops additional character pieces within the film as well, to make them integral with how the story is being told visually, which is a huge component of the film.
Wait, and now all these sets, were these Washington?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All of them were, everything was Seattle-ish, and then we had a couple that were out on the peninsula.
Cool.
And a couple that were shot in Tacoma as well. But mostly everything, I'd say probably 85% of everything was shot kind of in Seattle, kind of the general Seattle area.
Nice. Cool. Well, I'm curious, what were some challenges you guys faced on set? Because this is a very intense movie. I'm sure there were some challenges that arose.
Yeah.
For me, it was a lot of the emotional scenes that were really challenging for me. One of them in particular was my favorite scene, which was the train station scene with me and Lathrop. And it was just so hard to get into that place because I could really imagine what that would be like. But also, the day of the shoot, everybody later told me all of these things that were happening at the train station it was kind of cool because they kept, all that from me. So I was able to stay with my, performance and stay in that moment and work with Ben and Lathrop on our performances. But, it was kind of a crazy day, I guess, because there were a lot of people around.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to wrangling the public around everything that's going on in kind of a public train station. And so, I mean, just like anything else. I think one of the other things, we found a couple great, incredible locations. One of them was Golden Gardens, where you see kind of the beach stuff that happens and kind of out of the water there.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is awesome. And we're going to do this at night, and it's 30 degrees, and the water is 20 degrees. So it was just like, okay, so let's figure out how to do this and not all of us get sick at once. So it was, there were, just like on any film set, there's always going to be things that pop up. But I think one of the things we managed really well was really knowing some of the challenges before we went into places and having a lot of the producers and everybody else involved managing a lot of those so that when they happened, there wasn't a ton of curveballs. They were all kind of, other people didn't need to know who didn't need to know what was going on, so.
That was nice.
Now, Lathrop, were you involved with much of the editing?
I missed that question. I'm sorry.
Were you involved with much of the editing?
None. Zero.
Okay.
I watched it. I was involved with kind of seeing some rough clips put together, seeing some sections as they kind of came to life and things like that. There was I was fortunate enough to kind of be on the receiving end of the work, but I had little to do with a lot of the post production.
Gotcha.
That weight was borne mostly by Ben and the rest of the post production team.
Okay. Now this question goes for both of you. What do you guys hope audiences take away from the film?
I hope they take away, everything has a purpose in the film, so just pay very close attention and find all the little connections that, Ben did everything there's a lot of little things that make sense at the end of the movie, but you just have to pay close attention to it. And it's very exciting when those things kind of come about at the end, but I've watched it a couple times now, and, I think each time you watch it, you'll get new things as well, which is kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think she hit something that's really good. I mean, I think one of the things we're hoping for is that sense of, wait a minute, I have to go back and kind of watch it again. Like, there's an intricacy to the storytelling that I think is really great.
Right.
I also think it's, one thing I'd love for people to take away from the film is that it's, this isn't your typical kind of revenge thriller. This isn't your typical crime thriller. So there's a lot more going on here, both with some of the love stories and some of the interpersonal journey with Michael himself. And so I think there's an aspect of that I know when Ben and I talk about this genre of films, it's something that we really look for. So when we find movies that have that, it's something that really kind of sinks for us, and that was something that we're really excited about sharing. And mostly anything, just really being excited about sharing this with people and kind of getting it out. It's a project we're really proud of. It's a project we're proud to have out there, and we think people are going to really enjoy it.
Yeah, we're so excited that we can finally share it with everybody.
Nice. And you know what? It is a crime thriller, and it is action-packed and intense, but I think my favorite aspect of the film is that it's very dreamlike, and it tells a story in a very beautiful way. So I want to commend you guys on that.
Thank you.
I mean, our Ben and our director of photography, Duncan, they both did an incredible job with really taking the time to craft the visual image, the visual world, the vocabulary through the whole piece. So I think it's something that really brings the piece to life.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Cool. Well, guys, tell everyone, how can they see the film?
You can go to, I think, ECCOmovie.com. You can get tickets there. You can find us at ECCO Movie on Facebook or Instagram, and that can lead you through all of our kind of social media marketing content, and that can lead you right to wherever you can buy tickets. Really look for it on Monday. This is when theaters are going to be releasing tickets for this whole week, and we're all over the country. So if we're not just in your part of the world in that kind of specific city, we're going to be just outside of it. So I think the reach of the film is it's going to give everybody a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. This was great. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah,
really
and if you're ever in New York, stop by the studio.
I would love that.
Cool, guys. Well, best of luck with the film. It's really good. And we'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with our film review segment right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, this is Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and as always, I have a wonderful panel of guest critics today. We've got new to the couch, new to the show, Mr. Justin Miles. Hello.
Hello out there in internet land.
And Miss Rachel Cole. Welcome back.
Hi. Always glad to be here.
Yeah, sure. And Mr. Nick Commando. Yes.
Hello.
So guys, welcome. We've got two films to talk about today. Two very different films as always. That's the way we do it here on this show. But we'll start with the first one, Ode to Joy, which is a strange little rom-com starring Martin Freeman and Morena Baccarin. Martin Freeman, there he is. He plays a hapless individual, a librarian, who has narcolepsy and it gets triggered whenever he feels joy. So, and he meets this woman and they fall in love. So hilarity ensues with that. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very cute, very charming. I thought the premise was really smart, but I was expecting a little bit more. I also loved the performances from Freeman, Baccarin, and actually Jake Lacy, who people probably know him from The Office and other things. But Justin, what did you think?
Okay, so this is I feel kind of conflicted about Ode to Joy in general. As it's billed as a comedy.
Yes.
Like if we were to put it in a genre, if you were to find it on your Netflix queue, it would be comedy.
Sure.
Yet
or romantic.
Okay. So in particular with this, it's a comedy, but it fails in the comedy aspect. A lot of jokes. At least according to me, which I'm not the arbiter of comedy. Like I totally get that. But at least with this, it felt like a lot of the jokes didn't land.
No.
But yet, saying that, I liked how charming it was and how very low key. Like it was very.
It was lighthearted. Like it wasn't heavy-handed. Like
right, exactly. Yeah. And it's I would say a lot of the movie was saved by just the charisma of everyone in the cast. Yeah. So it was cute. Yeah. It was not offensive. It was very good as a movie, but as far as a comedy, it didn't quite work.
It didn't really break any rules or step on any toes. It was just very safe,
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Rachel?
Well, I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. It reminded me a lot of, there's been a couple other movies that have come out of This American Life and stories from that. Sleepwalk with Me probably being the most prominent with Mike Birbiglia.
Nice.
And
He's good.
Again, another case of actually someone that I was dealing with, in that case, a sleep disorder. In this case, also sort of a sleep disorder. More of like a neurological muscular disorder. Something I really liked about the plot of this, though, they set up that initially I thought this was going to be a thing of when he went on the first date with her, that it was going to be that he was keeping his condition from her. But I appreciate that they absolutely knocked that down right away. That's not the case. That really the setup and the thing that he's keeping from her is the fact that he still cares about her, but the only way he can be around her is by having that added sadness of having her be with someone else. I thought that was really very, very well done.
Now, is this a real disorder? Like,
yes, it is. It is based on because they did an episode of This American Life, and it's. I still need to listen to the whole episode. I think that they basically took the condition and a few of the circumstances, but I think the retelling of it is pretty much fictionalized.
Okay.
So, but again, I need to actually go and listen to the episode. It definitely made me want to check it out and learn more about it.
It's a very rare and strange disease.
Yeah.
But it makes for a good movie. Nick, are you a fan of Martin Freeman at all? Or Morena?
Yeah.
Is it Morena Baccarin?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I've seen Firefly, Morena Baccarin's in that.
Yeah.
I've seen Sherlock, so I definitely would have enjoyed the actors. But it sounds like a role that kind of you'd imagine Martin Freeman plays.
Yeah.
He kind of tends to play these quirky, slightly damaged individuals.
Almost anti-heroes in a way.
Yeah, who still come off as very charming and likable, and you can really connect with him, even if it's, a condition that really very few people have. You still can feel like you have a deep connection to him as a character because you enjoy the performance that Martin Freeman puts on.
Yeah.
So
that's really why I picked this movie, because I love him. He's got this very unique quality about him.
He's very average looking, but he has a lot of charisma to him, and he's able to sort of immerse himself in a role where you forget that you're really, and I don't mean this derogatorily, but he's, you're kind of just looking at a plain Englishman that looks like he would just be at a pub somewhere on a Friday night, but he's an accomplished actor.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like maybe a British Matt Damon.
More like Tom Hanks, I would say.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
He can
Tom
definitely
Hanks
do
is much,
both.
Interesting.
Tom Hanks is much more, I think, down to earth. I think Matt Damon had a lot more. Has a lot more gravitas to him, where if you see him in a crowd, you'd be kind of intimidated. I don't think Tom Hanks would have that same vibe.
It's that down to earth quality, and you definitely see it in the acting too. I guess if we're putting like actors who are similar to other actors,
Yeah.
I'd say probably he strikes me like because like Jeff Goldblum, for instance, where a lot of his acting is just like his natural quirky delivery, where it really.
But I don't think I've ever seen a Goldblum in a romantic comedy. Really.
I'm sure he has.
I
He's
mean,
been in like a
it's
ton
weird.
Of
No, he's a
different
leading
things.
man, but he picks these very strange roles, from The Fly to Jurassic Park to Soul Man. You know,
Goldblum's also a lot more overt
yeah.
than I think Martin Freeman would be in real life. I feel like Martin Freeman kind of wants to come in the back door, and if you see him once or twice, he's cool with it. I feel like Goldblum comes in and kind of, makes a show out of it,
Right.
Yeah.
without really doing anything over the top. He just exists.
Right.
Yeah, Martin Freeman, he usually plays a lot of these sort of introverted characters.
Right.
Like Hitchhiker's Guide is the one that I think of a lot of. Like, he tends to play those types. Or like in the Hobbit movies, which I'm not a fan of those, but I thought he was fantastic. The sort of quality of someone that would just kind of want to stay at home, but they just kind of get pushed into an adventure.
Right. What did you guys think of Morena Baccarin? I mean,
I enjoyed her quite a bit.
She's good. I mean, she's always pretty much the same in everything, from what I've seen anyway. From Deadpool to this, and I think you said she was in Firefly.
Yeah, she's a better actress, I think, than she gets credit for a lot of the time, because I think a lot of people sort of associate her as that hot girl from that thing.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more, I think, to her from an acting perspective. Firefly, I think her character was very meaty and had a lot of depth to it. Deadpool, I think she fits that role pretty well. But she's a lot more, I think, than people give her credit for.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's. I would say almost described as like being typecast in a way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a good description because, especially in Ode to Joy, like she was really, really good. Probably like as far as like the best performances, of the movies.
Right.
So,
Well, I would say actually the standout for me was his girlfriend for most of the movie from Big Bang Theory. I thought she was fantastic in it.
She was good.
I thought she was wonderful.
This is the first feature that I think I've seen her in.
Yeah. I mean, people mostly know her as, what is her character's name? But she's dating Howard on Big Bang Theory. That's mainly what people know her for.
Bernadette.
Cuoco?
Huh?
Kaylee Cuoco?
No. Melissa Rauch.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
yes.
She plays Bernadette.
Yes, Bernadette.
Yeah.
Yes.
She the really short, loud one?
Yeah, the short blonde girl.
I don't like the Big Bang Theory, but I know people.
See, I'm not the biggest fan of Big Bang Theory, but I thought this was a really good showcase for kind of all the shades of things that she can do, because she has some moments in it that are very serious and very, like, she stands up for herself and says, it's not okay that you treat me like this. It's not okay that you're treating other people like this.
Right.
And, but she also gets so many hilarious moments, like when the cello sing-along, I was like howling. That just made me laugh.
What song
so
was
hard.
she covering?
She was doing Zombie.
By the Cranberries. What a brilliant rendition of it.
It was bizarre, but awesome.
Yes.
That's cool. And also we got, what about Jake Lacey? I mean, he's a very underrated actor. He's getting a lot of work, though. He was actually, I was watching part of Otherhood with Angela Bassett on Netflix.
Who was he in The Office?
He was...
he came in the later seasons.
Yeah, he was sort of like a Jim replacement in a way.
Sort of a
Sort
little
of.
bit, yeah.
He was like one of the, I guess, an intern / sales rep.
Okay. Is he the one with the glasses?
No.
Long hair and the glasses?
No. He was very straight-laced. No.
All right, then I don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah. I think
I watched every season of The Office, but I just don't.
You don't remember
who
him?
this is. No.
Okay.
No. I really just, from the last couple seasons, I really just remember how much I enjoyed James Spader.
Yes.
So good.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yep.
And here we've got Jake Lacey from the American Office, Martin Freeman from the British Office.
Yep.
I love the parallels there.
Yep.
So,
It also amazes me that he was John Krasinski's character.
Yeah.
That he was the John
I
Krasinski
could see it,
of that
though.
show.
I mean, you
But
just
know what it
give
is,
him a
though?
nice
Like,
shave. And
But they're also two different levels of attraction. Martin Freeman is like borderline handsome.
no.
John Krasinski is like, I'd hit that.
Because they're very different, but I think their personalities were pretty much synced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the guy who's just comfortably getting by that could be doing a lot better if he put in the effort. But honestly, he's just bored with his job.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Are you guys Office fans,
Oh,
Justin?
for sure.
British and American?
Actually, neither.
Okay.
Neither. I know because, like,
You can leave now.
It's honestly, if I were to give like an actual opinion of it, I think it's like a little overrated. I think it's like there's moments of hilarity in between a lot of moments of boredom, which fill up like
that's the point.
It's
supposed to highlight the mundane office life.
I have a follow-up to what you just said, Justin. How much, have you watched a lot of The Office? Have you seen episodes? Like, how far into the series have you gotten?
I've watched like the first 4 seasons.
That's fair.
Those are the first only good ones, really.
Fair.
I think it goes downhill from there.
It does.
With the exception
it has a
of
few
Spader.
spikes. Yeah.
Like
Spader
whenever,
was a good addition.
I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, to be honest with you.
I think the thing that The Office did, though, is they tried very hard to give everybody a story.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's just you're not. It's for better. Yeah, exactly. It's for better or for worse. Not everybody's going to be have a really great story. Like I'm rewatching Parks and Recreation now.
Yes.
And they don't do that.
The sister series of The Office.
The Donnas and the Jerrys don't have little side stories. They get like one episode for themselves over the course of 7 seasons, but it's not, they're not trying to resolve every character in that department.
Yeah.
They're not trying to.
So you're saying it was kind of rushed, Parks and Rec.
No, not rushed, but like that show to me, every episode makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because like not just like one scene and I just chuckle. I'm laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas The Office, I think they tried very hard to give everybody at some point a story.
Right.
And sometimes the character, it's just like Creed doesn't need a story.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Creed just needs to show up in a Halloween party covered in blood, like, oh, today's Halloween. That's great. That really solves this issue.
Well, I would have loved to have seen more of like Stanley's background because he was a great character and his interaction. With,
But I think at the end of the day, too, it's like Stanley's just that miserable guy that's been there forever, and he's just waiting to retire, and there's really not much there.
True.
Because do you really want to see what jaded him? Because I think at the end of the day, it's just years and years at the same job and being passed over for things.
He just wants to be in a bathtub with a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
Or in a lighthouse. Or in a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Nobody knows he lives there.
Right.
And then one day he hits a button and it just blasts off into space.
With his crossword puzzles.
With his crossword.
There you go.
Yep.
That's heaven.
And he did not stutter.
Yeah.
Yes. I think, especially like with The Office and Parks and Rec, both of those are done by Michael Schur, who also now does
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like,
yes.
talk about a glow up.
And
Good Place.
Like the level that it keeps getting, like each show just keeps getting better than the last.
Are they all in the style of The Office or like shades
The
of...
Good Place isn't.
No?
The Good Place for sure isn't.
I mean, I love Ted
My
Danson,
fiance
so I...
watches that.
Yeah.
It's definitely not.
No.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, is a little bit more along the lines of Parks and Rec and The Office.
It doesn't have
but
the
it
talking
does
to the
depart from
camera.
it. Yeah.
It doesn't do like the documentaries talk straight to camera, but the camera style of like the like handheld.
It's a one camera.
Yeah.
Like reality TV. Kind of
mockumentary.
Style, it's like,
you're really more of a fly on the wall than you are somebody who's learning about learning about these people face to face.
Right. Okay. Well, guys, enough TV talk for now.
Yeah, I know. That was like an extreme tangent. We just
love
talked
it.
about The Office.
Yes.
That's what this show is
go,
sometimes.
Nick.
Justin, you'll come to realize that.
I will.
I think you're realizing it right now.
Especially when I do the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, guys, so we're going to take a quick commercial break again, but we'll be back with our final film review of the show right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and we are about to review our final film of the day, and it's what you all have been waiting for, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
or some or most of you. Or...
I have the Jack Nicholson meme.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Oh nice. Yeah, we've got the action thrill ride. We've got Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. There he is on the right. On the left, we got Jason Statham about to kick some ass, and basically they go up against a cybernetic Superman, Black Superman, Idris Elba. Idris Elba. And there's not much to say about this. It's a thrill ride. It's fun. It's funny. It's crazy. It's over 2 hours of nonstop adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot to talk about in this, though.
Okay.
I mean, just alone from the choreography possibilities of that motorcycle that Idris Elba has in this movie.
Oh, that was cool. Where he goes under the truck? Yeah.
Absolutely
that was
wonderful.
Awesome. That was the money shot, I'd say.
Yes.
That was so good.
Yes, definitely.
Nick is nodding heavily.
This movie was unrealistic,
Yes.
ridiculous, it was over the top, it was silly, and I loved every freaking minute of it. Oh, it was just
Did you love
great.
every minute of it, though?
No, I really
Every
did.
minute,
because-
every
because
second.
It was just, yes, it's a mindless action movie with explosions, and Idris Elba is a robot man for no reason. Okay, Jason Statham has a beautiful sister who does a thing for no reason.
But Vanessa Kirby, she was very good,
Dwayne
actually.
Johnson is named Luke Hobbs, but he's Samoan for no reason.
The thing that they're having to deal with is a virus called the snowflake.
Yeah, exactly. Which doesn't make any sense. But everything just came together, and I really, really loved this movie. Because it was, to me, it just reveled in how ridiculous it was, and I really appreciated that.
Like, that is the theme of this summer. Like, the last movie that reminded me of this level of insanity was, I think, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh.
I saw it with Vinny and Nicole, and I've never seen the Fast and Furious franchise at all.
I've only seen, 3 or 4 of them.
And Vinny says to me, "Oh, you have to see the Fast and Furious movies to get this." I'm like, "I don't really think I do."
No.
He's like, "Yeah, you do." I'm like, "Isn't it just they do a bunch of crazy stuff, and then at the end, Vin Diesel says it's all about family?"
Yeah.
And Vinny goes, "No," and his wife goes, "Yes."
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, it was a silly, ridiculous action movie that just reveled in how ridiculous it could be.
Yeah.
And to me, it was enjoyable.
Well, see, the funny thing is, though, there's little drop-ins about stuff from the franchise. Like, I completely forgot that Jason Statham killed his own brother. At one point, like, that they were like, "You made me kill my own brother," and there was other things, and I was like, this is kind of, like, if you came in and just watched it as you did, I would feel like it would be like Buckaroo Banzai, where it's like there's all this backstory that will never get explained, or things that have happened prior that they expect you to have all this knowledge of, but...
Well, I feel like if you see a trailer for the Fast and Furious movies, you kind of get the gist of the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, it went from about being cars, and now they're just secret agents.
Right, it's all about the mission.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get why all of you are so positive about it.
Hey, I'm not.
I knew for a fact, just knowing him outside of this show, I knew you were not going to like it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Bring us down, Justin.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
Slow down. Jeez.
No.
Like, it's
the Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. They can't slow down.
Like, I totally get it, but it's like, I kept thinking of the movie The Other Guys, where they have The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, and they're in it for like 20 minutes, and then they do that stupid action stunt where they jump off a building through the glass, and then they
for
die.
the awning?
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah.
And that's
basically this.
This whole movie felt like a parody. Like, it was like something to be made in jest. It was like, it's like having like a 10-year-old kid being like, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
Then 4 cars pulled down a helicopter.
And at one point, he's actually supporting the helicopter with his own hand.
Because he's Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, it's like a mashup of Commando with James Bond. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like the best of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, like most corny one-liner, like every line is
I'd say it's just a
one-liner
humorous
movies.
Expendables, basically.
It's a better Expendables. I will say that. Yeah.
Really? I like the second Expendables a lot.
Fantastic, though.
The what?
Okay, I'll disagree with you about one of those cameos.
Yeah.
Which one?
Kevin Hart.
Oh,
it was not funny.
But if you see them on social media, if you see Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart on social media, that to me was funnier because they go back and forth.
I have seen it, and the thing was, they clearly.
I can understand that.
They didn't write any material. It's clear for Kevin Hart. They just went, well, he's funny, so we'll just have him riff on some things.
So many comedies fall apart when it's like when you have the direction is basically like, oh, you're funny, you're a comedian, here, go be funny.
Just be in there.
Yeah.
Like, improv, right?
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you gotta write jokes.
Well, at least Ryan Reynolds had
like some jokes. I wish they did more with Rob Delaney, though. I really wish they did more with him because I've listened to him on other stuff.
Wait, which one is he again?
He was the one that went after Jason. He played the guy in Deadpool 2. The dad.
The one that answered the ad.
Yeah, it was like, I just answered an ad.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
They could have done way more with him, I feel like.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
But I can definitely see your point with Kevin Hart.
Did you guys like the fight choreography? I know you mentioned choreography.
Yeah. I mean, it was like none of it makes any sense. But that's fine.
My question was how did they beat this robot man?
I can't.
When I saw the previews,
two of them.
and then it was the corniest ending ever, where they all of a sudden realized, wait, he can't take two people at once. What?
After he took on all of those agents at the beginning.
Like, because they weren't working in unison. He wasn't kneeing somebody in the face and somebody just cold cocked him from the side. Because they didn't do that, he's unbeatable.
Yeah. Like Idris Elba, like he should be the next Terminator. I mean, he was
he
was the Black Terminator in this, like, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, hold on. Where did this virus thing come out of? Is that like a plot point from like the
Vanessa
earlier
Kirby
films?
created? Did she create? No, she carried it.
The backstory is that Eddie Marson's character, who I absolutely love Eddie Marson, I have some thoughts on that. He developed it, meaning for it to be like a vaccine. Mm-hmm. That it's like that you would basically put the properties of the vaccine, and then it would spread to all of these people, and they would be vaccinated against diseases.
They weaponized
it. Then they weaponized it and basically turned it into a disease that couldn't be stopped. Because profits.
The guy with the terrible Russian accent. Cringe-worthy.
Eddie Marson is a very good actor.
He's a very good actor in other stuff.
Yes.
Not in
this.
His
glasses.
He knew exactly what type of movie he was in, and he played it up. But
what do I've seen him in stuff.
Not only is he a scientist, he has to be a 2-time Nobel Prize-winning scientist. Because that's the type of movie this is.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I mean, it was a lot of... I think the reasons why you didn't like the movie is exactly why I liked the movie.
I will explain it a little bit more because, especially
also it was the highest Rotten Tomatoes rating. I looked it up. They rated this movie 67%. I'm like, this is not something you brag about.
Wow.
The problem that I have with most modern action movies is that the choreography is, for the most part, with exceptions like John Wick, for example, which is really good, but most of the choreography is terrible because you have the camera guy just going in and just shaking the camera all about, and it's becoming like a substitute for actual choreographed stunts and choreographed moves. Like the one action scene where they're infiltrating, big evil lair number 5, and they're both going through separate hallways and they're fighting
different
the
guys.
Rock,
Got a lot of bad guys on your end there?
Yeah, The Rock fights the big, mechanic, and then Jason Statham is
10 guys.
10, 20 guys. And that was actually good because, the camera, stayed steady, and you could actually see the moves connect, and nothing's shaking, and then it just abandons it for the rest of it.
You have so many options now of what you can do with a film like this through CGI, green screen, all that stuff. It just becomes so much of a crutch where it's you don't have the ability... it's almost like you don't want to just be basic and just say, okay, let's just do really well on the choreography and stuff. But because these movies are made and then 6, 7, 8 months later they're released. And it's just you're in this constant cycle of we have to release this next year, so we can't spend 3 days perfecting the choreography. Right. We'll just move the camera in certain aspects.
That's it. That's the cheap way Hollywood goes about
exactly.
Stuff, so.
Exactly. And the other thing that made me laugh that really wasn't funny, but what made me laugh was the wrestler Roman Reigns was in this movie.
Okay.
And WWE hyped it up, and The Rock hyped it up on his social media because they're related. And he did nothing. He had no lines.
Was he one of the Samoans?
He was. I don't know if you remember the scene where they're in the chop shop and he's at the front of the screen and he's literally just moving 2 items in a box. That's literally what he did in the movie, and I'm sitting there like,
no,
I can't believe WWE
he had that awesome spear.
And he speared somebody, yeah.
Here's another thing. Why did it just turn into Avatar in the last 20 minutes? That just didn't work for me.
That also...
I get it.
I was on board with that.
But,
I entirely get that because... Like, The Rock is very proud of his culture and everything, of Samoan culture, and wants to have more Samoan representation. And I appreciate that. It's like, it's a big, dumb blockbuster, but I have a reason that I
he's proud of his heritage, but it seems so cartoony. It was just ridiculous.
Well, the whole movie's cartoony.
That is true.
The whole series is.
The one thing that I did enjoy about this movie, and Justin, just start rolling your eyes now, the story that they told with Statham and with The Rock, I enjoyed. Like it wasn't just like they tried to tell these little heartfelt stories with them where he Shaw didn't have a relationship with his sister anymore and he had to reconnect with his sister over this trip. And Dwayne Johnson wasn't, Hobbs had not been back to Samoa in 25 years because he turned his father into the cops and whatnot. Like I appreciated that too, where amongst all this stupidity and ridiculousness, they tried to give the characters kind of relatable stories where it was like, okay, we're not just, this isn't just a stupid popcorn movie. You can kind of care about these characters too.
Or they just shoehorn in some little emotional touches because, we got to break up like 50-minute action pieces. So, we have a heart.
Now, the last like 4 or 5, they introduced both characters, right? But
I believe so.
Yes,
but they just never expanded on their backstory until now.
Right.
So... I mean, I'm kind of scared. They're going to make like Fast and Furious presents. Like they're going to keep going with this.
I totally expect that they will.
Absolutely sets up a sequel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I think it's also because I've also read and heard from people that like Dwayne Johnson doesn't get along with like the rest of the Fast and Furious cast. Like him and Tyrese don't get along.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he gets
along
with
Vin Diesel.
Is he hard to work with or
something? Or?
I think it's because Dwayne Johnson is more like a lunch pail guy. He wants to come and do the work, and Vin Diesel doesn't show up on time on set and whatnot.
Okay.
And like Dwayne Johnson is actually what you see on social media, where he's actually like shaking people's hands and like making relationships.
So they look almost identical, but they're total opposites.
Yeah, basically.
That's well, it is Hollywood. You got to get used to that, And The Rock should learn that.
When you own your own production company, you also don't have to do that. He can just buy the rights and say, all right, I'm going to do my own without these people.
And it's like if a movie's headlining Vin Diesel versus The Rock, I'm going to go see the movie with The Rock. He's a much more charismatic presence on screen.
Does anyone care about Vin Diesel anymore?
Aside from his voice work doing Groot, but
that's all he's got.
They also brought John Cena on to I think for the next 2 Fast and Furious movies. I think that was like supposed to be a veiled shot of The Rock.
And being wrestling gurus yourselves, that's going to be epic, I'm assuming.
I mean, John Cena's not a bad actor.
Yeah, he was great in Blockers. What was it? Blockers, he was hilarious.
But like a movie like Fast and Furious fits him because
and Trainwreck.
He'll do. That's kind of the character that he'll be able to play fits in the Fast and Furious. You can put him as somebody who works for the government, as like an army general. You could also put him as somebody who reluctantly joins whatever they do.
I mean, they should put him as the Marine.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or just do a remake of Commando.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
We'll see. So, guys, we got like 10 minutes left. Just want to go around. What are we looking forward to seeing in theaters? Justin.
That Akira movie, if it could be made eventually. It's been in development hell for like 20 years, and being a fan of like the original one, I definitely want to see if it turns out good or it's going to turn out crap, which I'm betting money on that it's going to.
Oh no. Be a little optimistic.
No.
Okay. You're realistic. Rachel, anything coming out?
Really, there's a lot of horror stuff coming out, but of course, It Chapter 2 looks fantastic. Cannot get enough of that. Just, I am counting down the days until that comes out.
This is going to sound sad, but Hobbs and Shaw was the one movie I was looking forward to.
Oh, no.
That's it. You're done. It's going to retire.
For now, you know what it is? I really don't have the time that I'd like to have to go out and see a film anymore just because of other stuff going on in my life. But it's, I mean, I think also, I don't really think this summer has a ton of movies that are coming out.
They all came out. They shot
really
they're done.
Avengers Endgame came out, and it just blew everything out of the water.
Yeah. And it's like you got the big arty movie, which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite of the year so far.
I might go try and see that, but there's really not a ton that I will be going out. You're not
excited for Cats?
Okay, the last time I was on this show,
can we discuss
I am a gigantic proponent
against
this film because it is the most terrifying. I saw It Chapter 2. I saw It Chapter 2 be previewed at Hobbs and Shaw, and I leaned over to the people I was seeing it with, and I went, nope. And then they did the Cats one, and I also leaned over and said, nope, because that is terrifying.
Absolutely
you did not
terrifying.
need to CGI them. Nope. They could have just done costumes. You could have
that would have looked a little silly, I think.
Exactly.
Sillier.
It's going to look silly regardless.
Yeah.
But it's like a question of looking silly and maybe going something really stylized and theatrical versus going CGI, Uncanny Valley. We're going to paste Jennifer Hudson's face on that thing.
Yeah. And Rich, you're a Broadway person.
And I am a Broadway person, but I just, no. It's not good.
Well, based on everything else I've read about, based on things I've read about Cats, which is a screenshot of somebody writing about it on Tumblr, it doesn't seem like it has much of a plot at all.
No.
So, like, I'm even less, I haven't even less of an understanding of how this movie made any money on Broadway as a musical.
Right.
Because it's about cats.
Well,
it's got a great score,
about cats.
great soundtrack.
But isn't it just like they all want permission to die and be reincarnated as a kitten?
Yeah, that's literally there's one character that every year they come together and one of the cats gets chosen to be reborn. And they're all basically making the case for why they should be the one to
She's
be
on
chosen.
her ninth life, right?
Yeah.
So it's literally a final project.
Yeah.
In high school.
Maybe there's time to change it because we know the Sonic movie
That's
is
true.
going to
No,
be
here's the
changed.
thing, though. I want to go see it in its train wreck self. Like, I don't want them to change it. I don't want it. Like, this
seems like
is
a movie that you go see after you take an edible.
It's Avatar with fur.
like when they announced that Tom Hooper was going to be doing Cats, this is what I feared and also kind of hoped for. That I'm like, I want to buy out a whole theater and watch this and mock it. Like, and I love so many people involved with it, but I have to think they kind of knew what they were getting into.
James Corden is the most terrifying looking cat character I've ever seen.
No,
he looks like a Batman
Jennifer
villain.
Hudson is way more terrifying looking.
It's James Corden, Taylor Swift,
And
with that cat.
what about the Australian girl?
and Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson.
That's the top
Rebel
three in
Wilson.
order.
That
those
just
three.
looks awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, like, she basically looks like if they made Garfield into a furry. I mean, people that are into furries are going to
This is
basically
love this
porn
movie.
for them.
They're going to devour this.
As a connoisseur of internet weirdness, oh man, I can't wait. I'm throwing my hands.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, you're that cat at the table with the knife and
You're
fork.
going to have a lot of news stories about people getting arrested because there was a hole in their popcorn bucket.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I've heard. What was that? That was in a movie, right?
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
But
real
Judi
Pee Wee Herman.
Dench.
Yep. The real.
Judi Dench and
Jesus.
Ian McKellen in this movie.
I like. I kind of
Idris
dig
Elba's
that.
the only redeeming one because he looks
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
He does
That's
look
true.
He looks cool, and I'm like, yeah,
he looks
Idris
cool
Elba.
He
everywhere.
got the
You're a
eye
hot
contacts
cat.
from Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
The mechanical eye contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks cool in everything.
Yes.
He really does. Idris Elba should just do every movie ever.
Yes.
And James Bond.
Yes.
Like,
he
do
needs
it.
to be James Bond. I don't know why.
No, James Bond has to be
The
white.
thing is, though,
Really?
at this point, he's put it out there that he's like, look, I know it's not going to happen.
No.
And at this point, he's like, if you don't want me, then I don't want you. So
Change.org petition. I'm calling on all of you right now. Let's get Idris Elba in the Bond suit.
The Bond universe. Yes. That's cool. I can see him with a martini and a
Well, the
gun.
ironic thing is that they're going to introduce a female Bond in the
Yes, they
Bond
are.
25, right?
Oh, really?
It's going to
Yes.
be black and female.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
like Emma Thompson or someone.
No, it's. I believe it's an African American woman.
That's cool.
I don't care. I'm
That's
hyped
cool.
for it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's hysterical that in 2019, this is a conversation that people
Yeah.
have
I know. It's sad.
Yeah.
about fake secret agent man.
Yes.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. Like, Jason Statham's got nothing on him.
Yep.
No, that'd be. I don't think that would work at all.
He has a champagne problem, though.
I do have a champagne problem.
Nice.
You're not going to tell me because you know I'll drop you.
I'm sorry,
have
did
no
we
hair.
go this long in the review without saying genocide schmenocide?
Genocide, schmenocide.
Genocide.
The silliest sounding badass line you'll ever hear in a film.
It's one of the worst, I think, screenplays ever. Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, guys. So a few more minutes left. Let's go around. Plugs. What do we got going on? Justin.
Okay, so you can find everything Justin Miles on my website, reachformiles.com. With a ton of different stuff, so blogs, my voice acting reel.
Ooh.
I don't know why, but it's there.
That's cool.
And also follow me on Twitter at JustinMilesX.
Ooh. X.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Rachel E. Kolb. That's Kolb with a K. You can also find my website, ludusnyc.com, where I have my theater reviews. I've got a review coming out this week for Company XIV's new show, Queen of Hearts, which is wonderful if you love burlesque and dancing and basically old-timey versions of modern songs. It's all sorts of fun. And I've also got an interview coming out with the director of Patience, which is a new play that just premiered here in New York.
Ooh. Who's in that?
It's very much off Broadway, so it's not going to be any names that you know, but it is about competitive solitaire, which is not a thing that I knew was a thing.
Isn't that a solo activity?
Yes. Apparently this is a thing, though, where they actually will time you. And anyways, if you want to find out more about it, you can check that out.
Cool. Sounds good.
Wrestling podcast about wrestling. You can find that anywhere you follow wrestling podcasts. I put up a review recently of Fight for the Fallen. I plugged my appearance on the last show I did on there. I will be in the short film The Wingman with Eternal Lion Studios when we finish filming that. Got some more stuff to do there. I'm also working on a true crime improv comedy type deal that I've recorded some stuff with, so be on the lookout for that. And Twitter and Instagram at NickCommando1M. I'm not the Schwarzenegger movie, and I don't want to be, nor will I ever will be.
You never know.
No, I know.
Get to the chopper.
You could.
Yes.
Get to the
Actually, that's Predator, but.
Hey, who's counting? Whatever.
I need to let off
Dexter.
Yes.
Wait, Nick, can you talk a little bit about the Hangman real quick?
The Wingman?
Wingman.
Oh, basically, it's through Eternal Lion Studios. Vincent Bonfanti, guest critic on this show a few times. Him and I we play friends. He's interested in a girl. I decide to be his wingman. He gets hit in the head with a brick, and chaos ensues.
Right. He doesn't get stabbed with the brick.
No, he gets hit with a brick. Just gets hit in the head with a brick.
Right.
I mean, being stabbed with a brick, it's not that ridiculous of a concept. I don't know why Ryan Reynolds was so enthralled with it, but what do we know?
Rounded corners.
Yes.
It's really, really hard.
In joke from the Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw guys. If you haven't seen it yet, it's very hard to stab a man with a brick, apparently.
Also, see it in IMAX if you can. Definitely worth seeing in IMAX. But if you don't want to spend that much money, you can see this.
It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, guys, and some plugs for our wonderful sponsor, Magnitude Jewelry. September 6th to the 8th is the Mind, Body, Spirit Expo in Denver, Colorado. September 20th to the 22nd, the Yoga Festival in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. October 18th to the 20th is the New Life Expo at the New Yorker Hotel in New York City. And lastly, the Heart Freedom Expo in Chicago, Illinois. We'll have more dates for that. But I want to thank everyone today. This is great, as usual. Justin, job well done.
Oh,
sir.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And the same goes for you guys. You know that.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, this has been another edition of Under the Radar, but we'll be back again next week with more film reviews and interviews. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and this is Under the Radar. See you next time.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.